Hey everyone, so let's continue with tutorial 5.2.1. In this tutorial, we are going to discuss about the essential skills and knowledge for testing with generative AI. So let's understand what are some of the essential technical and other skills and knowledge that you need when you are using generative AI in any of the project. So testing or as a test person, test lead, test manager, mastering the technical skills of generative AI is important to transition from traditional testing to AI augmented quality engineering. First technical skill is mastering the prompt engineering. When we say prompt engineering, you should move beyond the basic question and answer sort of interaction with the generative AI to a structured prompting technique. Zero shot, one shot, few shot, chain of thought. All of these techniques are going to help you in getting better results, and I have already explained these concepts in much more detail in previous videos. The next important thing is understanding the context window. For example, managing the memory limit of the LLMs to ensure the large requirements or code bases are processed without data loss or truncation. So understanding what the context window limit is, and accordingly you modify your prompts to get the best outcome. Then leveraging the Gen AI for specialized test tasks, for example, test analysis, test design from existing requirement, using AI to summarize the logs and identify root cause patterns, generating test data for testing, generating the automation scripts, using AI in the test progress analysis and reporting. So the more you will get hold of the prompts, the better outcome you will get. So technical skills is context window, prompting techniques, and then using these techniques regularly in every phase of your software testing lifecycle will help you to achieve the desired technical skills, so that you are not only the traditional tester but AI augmented quality engineering professional. Then the understanding of the data security and privacy risks is another important aspect, because sharing the proprietary testware with external large language model introduces a very significant security risks. So as a tester, you should be the first line of defense to avoid any security and privacy risks within the organization. So when you say security and privacy risks, you should be able to understand that whatever you are sharing in the prompt, if it is your public large language model, it might get used for retraining the model, and eventually it's a big threat in terms of data security and privacy. So implementing the rigorous practices, procedures to remove any of the sensitive information, confidential information, personal information before you actually use it in the large language model. Masking strategies, so adopting the data privacy preserving prompt engineering practices that minimize the exposure of intellectual property, however still providing you enough context. For example, you have the customer data, you mask it, you anonymize it so that it is not possible to recognize that it's the real data, and then use it. So risk mitigation is strategy for this, recognizing that inherent risks such as data leakage and shadow AI. Then treating every AI output as a draft that requires human validation before actually committing to the code base. So not blindly following or not blindly copying whatever is output and believing that whatever output AI is providing is the best output. Do not believe that. Always read it through, make sure it makes sense in your context, in your project context, and then use it. Then the compliance is very important. All the AI interactions should follow the corporate data security policies and regional policies if applicable. For example, if you are in European Union, the GDPR should be followed, the EU AI regulation, AI Act should be followed, or you should be able to understand so that you can define and use the information according to that security and privacy policy. So understanding these risks is another skill that you need as an AI tester. Then the understanding of the environmental and economic considerations. For example, testing will require balancing the power of the generative AI with the operational and environmental costs. Following criteria, we'll discuss some of the criteria that should be considered when you are using generative AI. First thing is selecting the most efficient model for the task. If small language model is solving the purpose, then go ahead and use it. So for simple log parsing, if small language model is doing the work perfectly fine, there is no need to go ahead and choose a high resource, high cost large language model. So that will help you to be more efficient and also cost effective. Then reducing computational overhead by refining the prompts and reducing redundant model calls, making sure your prompt that you define provides you the best outcome. So refine the prompt and do not make unnecessary redundant calls, because the more you are prompting, it's costing you money. Prompts in turn are tokens, and tokens cost money. Each interaction costs money, not only the money, but also it has the environmental and carbon footprint, because there are huge data centers that keep running to provide the output that you are asking from the large language model. So you have to balance the benefits of the Gen AI automation. So automation benefit, team should achieve faster test cycles and better coverage. Then managing licensing fees and token consumption, energy impact, awareness of the carbon footprint. So these benefits and trade-off should be also considered. The knowledge of the carbon footprint, the cost should be considered, so that you do not do unnecessary usage of the LLM or SLM. The goal should be to achieve a sustainable return on investment where the benefits of the AI outweigh the cost of using AI. Not only the cost, but also the environmental and economic considerations. So making sure that when you introduce the generative AI, when your organization introduces Gen AI, the team is actually getting benefit, and not like other 90% of the projects that have failed in the Gen AI space. Now people have started implementing it in a more structured and revised way. So you will see the benefits of AI only if the overall organization and team embraces with proper structure and knowledge. Thank you. I'll see you in the next tutorial.